On a daily basis, Sarah Huckabee Sanders stands in front of the world, taking questions from the angry left. The left-leaning media have made fun of her weight, the way she looks, for defending the president and everything else under the sun. She remains poised and unfazed the liberal pot's shots. She is a genius at handling their questions and refuting the claims about the Trump White House. Because she stands up for the president, she has polarized the left and their anger towards her grows daily. When we thought we had seen it all, a left-leaning publication, The Slot, wrote a scathing article about Sarah and her family, but they didn't leave it there. Now they are attacking her Christian faith and more. The Slot wrote, given Sarah Huckabee Sanders's ability to deflect, The New Yorker's new profile on the White House press secretary is about as clarifying and detailed as one could be. It doesn't reveal many new insights about Sanders, so much as confirming much of what her public persona displays, that she is an ultra-conservative evangelical Christian who is, if not entirely politically aligned with Trump, fiercely loyal to a man who will further her own ambitions and political agenda. But there is a moment in the profile that Sanders seems to show a bit more of how she justifies her role in the White House. No one expects an honest or deeply reflective answer from a woman who defends the Trump White House for a living, but Sanders's response is telling. Clearly, she sees herself as some kind of force for righteousness. "I'm not going to my office expecting it to be my church," she answered. Frankly, if people of faith don't get involved in the dirty process, then you're missing the entire point of what we're called to do. You're not called to go into the places where everyone already thinks like you, and as a believer, you have to go onto a stage where they're not. She went on, you have to take that message into the darkest places, and the dirtiest places, and the most tainted and dysfunctional places. If you can influence even one person, that's what you're supposed to do. Later, Sanders said that she was speaking broadly, about her social duty as a Christian and not about the White House. Then, an abrupt return to form. "I said a lot of Americans feel that the person who needs the most help is Trump. We all need help," she said. "That's the whole basis of Christianity. No one is perfect. We are all sinners." I asked her if she considered Trump racist. She said no. She has a job to do, after all. The New Yorker had this to add about Sanders: perhaps Sanders's greatest asset at the podium is her embodiment of the Trump voter. The supposedly populist president is tremendously wealthy, as are many top administration figures: Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, Betsy DeVos, Wilbur Ross, Steve Mnuchin, and Kellyanne Conway. Like Sanders, Vice President Mike Pence is also a heartland Christian, but he's rarely on TV, and he lacks the combative instinct that she shares with Trump. Sanders's briefings offer repeated confirmation to Trump's base that the U.S. government is being run by Christians standing up to condescending Beltway insiders. In a characteristic flourish, Sanders defended immigrant family separations by noting that it is very biblical to enforce the law. The liberal left has become the party that advocates screaming and using vile language, even supports violence against Trump supporters. This was never what our forefathers had in mind. They will stop at nothing to get their way. Thankfully, Sarah is tougher than they are and clearly smarter. We couldn't have a more qualified press secretary than we do in Sarah Huckabee Sanders.